Let's talk about the July 19th, 2021 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw. Last night was Money in the Bank, and they had a phenomenal show. Probably the best WWE pay-per-view since before the pandemic era. Year and a half, maybe 2 years, best pay-per-view. A banger of a pay-per-view. We saw, Big E win the Money in the Bank. We saw new tag champions, new Raw Women's champion. We saw John Cena return at the end of Money in the Bank. So I was thinking, tonight, Monday Night Raw. Raw has sucked for a while, but tonight they've got to do good. Boy, was I wrong. So kicking off the show was John Cena. He was saying how he's back in front of the fans and a bunch of stuff like that. And then he challenges Roman Reigns to a Universal title match at SummerSlam. Why Cena was on Raw and declared this challenge, probably just for viewers for Monday Night Raw. But I don't know. So he's going to be on SmackDown as well, which will probably get a confirmation on the Universal title match for SummerSlam. And that'll be a banger of a match. Super excited to see John Cena back. I popped so hard for him when his music hit last night, even though I was expecting it. So then Matt Riddle comes out, and we see this funny moment of Cena and Riddle saying bro back and forth in the microphone. Riddle could have done something hilarious like he normally does, but he did not. It was just them saying bro. But that was a pretty cool segment to see. So the first match of the night was a 6-man tag between AJ Styles and Omos and John Morrison versus the Viking Raiders and Matt Riddle. And the match ended right here. So you see Matt Riddle goes and grabs the, what the hell do they call it? The drip stick, I think? The drip stick. Matt Riddle grabs the drip stick and sprays Omos with it and then runs around behind the ring. So Omos thinks that The Miz did it. So Omos attacks John Morrison and throws him in the ring, and that allows the Viking Raiders and Riddle to pick up the victory. It was an okay match. I would give it 2 stars maybe, but it was just a fun match to kick off Raw. Next up on the show, we saw Elias in the ring, and then Jackson Ryker threw a promo and backstage, and they started fighting. They had a match, a Symphony of Destruction match. It was 2.5 stars. It was okay. Pretty quick match, but anyways, Jackson Ryker prevailed against Elias. So far the show's like a normal Monday Night Raw, pretty bad, but not the worst. And then next up we see Charlotte Flair in the ring, and I was almost certain Becky Lynch would come back tonight. I thought she was going to. She's probably cleared for in-ring competing, but in this promo, Charlotte Flair says that Becky Lynch, because the crowds that are chanting Becky Lynch, so Charlotte Flair says Becky Lynch is at home breastfeeding while I'm here running the women's division. That was pretty funny of her to say. But I thought Becky Lynch was going to come out after that line, but it turns out Rhea Ripley comes out yet again, challenges Charlotte to a match. Charlotte denies, but then Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville comes out and makes the match official for the main event of tonight. 40th Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley match. I could not care less about it. So then next up, what happens on the show? We see Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Alexa Bliss and Tamina. And not to make fun of her, but what in the hell is Nia Jax's hair? It looks terrible in my opinion. But anyways, this was a quick match. I think Reginald costed them it. I wasn't really paying attention because I could care less about this match. But anyways, Natalya and Tamina prevailed. So then, after the match, Nia Jax attacks Reginald. And then we see a 24/7 title spot. Reginald's outside the ring. Over here, Nia Jax and Baszler are in the back. We see the just random people that aren't used fighting for the title. And then we see Reginald come in the ring. And I was expecting him to, maybe punch Akira Tozawa and win the title. But no. Reginald did some high-fly stuff. He did, a flip into a senton. And he did a lot of stuff that actually impressed me in, the 10 seconds he did it. But anyways, he ended up winning the 24/7 championship. And he did, 5 backflips in a row when he was going back to the backstage area. So good for Reginald. I mean, from what I saw, he has potential. And hopefully they use that. But I'm sure he's just going to be a funny gimmick for whatever they need him for. Next segment on the show was announcing Karrion Kross will be debuting tonight. And I was a little bit upset, but also happy about this. I was upset because they should have made it a surprise. And there was one way they could have put this in a surprise, which I'll show later on. But they announced it, so I'm like, okay, it could have been better with the big surprise, but he's just showing up. So it's okay. Not much to complain about. So then we do this, go to commercial break. Next up, we see Sheamus in the ring for his 1000th match with Humberto Carrillo, and Sheamus quickly destroyed him and prevailed, retaining the title. Nothing really happened, no like after-match attack or anything, but it was decent. I would give it 2 stars. Nothing tonight was above like 3 stars in general. So next up, we saw Bobby Lashley doing an open challenge. It's been rumored that Goldberg will be coming back to Raw tonight to challenge Lashley for the title at SummerSlam. So I thought, there's a couple ways this can go. Cross enters the ring and fights Bobby Lashley. Or Goldberg fights Bobby Lashley and Lashley gets a DQ and sets up for SummerSlam or something along those lines. But then, after Lashley cuts a promo about it, we see my boy Keith Lee return to Monday Night Raw. Bask in his glory, although it's not his entrance, he bask in his glory. And, I was thinking right about now, we're going to get a really good Keith Lee and Bobby Lashley hard-hitting match. Keith Lee can perform really well. But no, I was completely wrong because Lashley obliterated Keith Lee. They fucking ruined Keith Lee in exactly 3 minutes. Ruined him. Lashley destroyed him. I think Keith Lee maybe got 1 or 2 moves in and that was it. And it really pisses me off that they destroyed him this bad. Why would you do this to Keith Lee? It makes no sense. He's been off TV for a while for no apparent reason. Actually, I think he had an injury. But he's been kept off TV even when he was cleared for that. And then Keith Lee returns tonight. I popped hard for him. But then he gets demolished by Bobby Lashley. And, it makes sense. Lashley destroyed Kofi Kingston last night, setting up for Goldberg later on. But I was thinking, maybe have someone, come out and then ends in a DQ or something. But no, Lashley just clean finish, destroyed Keith Lee. And this was, the first really bad thing I was pissed off about in the show. So then after the match, we see Goldberg come out and come in the ring and challenge Lashley for a title match just by saying, "I'm next." This is what Goldberg does. He reminds me of John Cena on occasions. Goldberg comes back, says, "I'm next," and we get a title match. For some reason, they do it like that. There's no storyline that leads to Goldberg returning. He just shows up, says, "I'm next," and we get a title match. So far for SummerSlam, SummerSlam's got to be a banger. We have Roman Reigns and Cena, Goldberg, and Lashley. I would prefer Brock and Lashley, but you can't wish for everything. You can't get everything you wish for. So this will be a good match, and this was a pretty good scene to see. It boosted me up a little bit after I saw my boy Keith Lee get demolished. Next segment was Jinder Mahal and whoever the hell these two guys are. I don't even know their names. They were in the ring talking about Drew McIntyre. McIntyre comes out with a chair and destroys whatever this guy's face is. Jinder Mahal and the other one went towards the entrance stage and just watched. And McIntyre hit, I don't know, maybe 15 the first time, grabbed a second chair, and the crowd counted that one out. And he had 20 with that. So I was like, man, this man's back's gotta be demolished. They showed a little bit of his shoulder. But then later on, right before the show ended, they showed this. And, the man, props to this guy. I forget his name, but props to him. He took this beating like a champion would. He is bruised up everywhere. And so it's pretty cool to see that this man was, willing to take all these shots from Drew McIntyre. Next segment, we see Karrion Kross come out to the ring. I'm super stoked. I'm like, Kross in a match, she's going to win. It's going to be a phenomenal match. Who's he going to be fighting? And they show a graphic for Kross and Jeff Hardy. And I was like, this is going to be a pretty good match. And Jeff Hardy comes out to his old theme, Lost for Words or Lost in the Words or something like that. I forget the name of it. But his old entrance theme. So I was super stoked about that right now. I was really excited, oh my god. His entrance theme is back. Karrion Kross is on the main roster. It's going to be a phenomenal match. And the crowd popped hard for Jeff Hardy, and they were silent for Kross for some reason. Don't know why, but no more words. Good theme to have back. So basically, Karrion Kross and Jeff Hardy are fighting. Jeff Hardy goes for a Swanton Bomb. He misses. Kross goes for his finish. Kross misses. And then Jeff Hardy jumps on Kross and puts his feet on the top rope, giving him leverage for a cheap victory. Karrion Kross, the Beast, the NXT World Champion who has beat Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano and a few other people, lost to Jeff Hardy on his debut on Monday Night Raw. What were they thinking? Why in the world would you have Karrion Kross lose to Jeff Hardy on his debut as the NXT champion? Vince gives zero craps about NXT. He's like, oh, here's a guy, let me destroy him. But maybe this sets up Kross going on a freaking demolishing streak, destroying everyone, anywhere, anytime, backstage, in the ring. Just Kross goes full beast mode and destroys everyone. And Scarlett Bordeaux did not come out with Kross for this, so I mean that was kind of odd. But I guess she's staying down in NXT while Kross is on the main roster. That's the second thing that made me super angry tonight: Kross losing. And after the match, Kross saying Jeff Hardy made the biggest mistake of his life. Everyone will fall and pray. Next segment was Alexa's Playground with Eva Marie and what's her Dewdrop? Stupid name. And it was a boring segment, and it ends with Eva Marie walking behind this little swing right here and just tripping and falling for some reason. I mean, I don't know why they would do that, but they did. So, next up, well, actually, for this segment, I was going to say real quick, this was a decent, I mean, I don't know what they're doing with Dewdrop and Eva Marie. It makes no sense to me what they are doing. I don't know why they keep doing this with Dewdrop and them. Dewdrop and Eva Marie have fought a lot for no reason, so I'm just really lost on what they're going to be doing. So anyways, next up, they announced that AJ Styles and Omos will be fighting the Viking Raiders next week on Monday Night Raw for the tag team titles. Maybe we finally see the Viking Raiders win. I don't know if they will or not, but it's going to be decent to watch. They go to a commercial break here, and when we come back from commercial break, it's time for the main event. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Ripley's in a knee brace, so it's whatever. I'm thinking it should be a good match. And we see Rhea Ripley getting some offense and puts Charlotte in her own finish, but Charlotte gets out of it and goes on to the entrance ramp trying to just leave the arena. And Rhea Ripley runs after her, so Charlotte whacks Ripley in the head with the Raw Women's title. Charlotte goes in the ring, starts celebrating her victory, and I'm thinking, Becky Lynch. We're going to see Becky Lynch. Finally, Becky Lynch will return. We can see Lynch. No. Rhea Ripley starts attacking Charlotte. And then all you hear is this stupid gimmick, Nikki Ash, almost a superhero, running to the ring. Like, I don't mean to make fun of her, but her run was it was really funny to watch, if that makes sense. Nikki Ash runs to the ring as Rhea Ripley's attacking Charlotte, throws Charlotte in the ring, and then Nikki Ash cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase and becomes the Raw Women's Champion. Nikki Cross's old gimmick when she was in Insanity and when she was with Bliss. I mean, Bliss kind of died down a little bit with that gimmick, but her psychotic gimmick was really fun to watch, and really it can get over. And then she pitches this new idea as a superhero, Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. And I'm thinking last night, no way Nikki Ash wins. I was thinking Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss. What do you know? The worst finish in Money in the Bank history happens last night. 6 people are on top of the ladders fighting, a classic Money in the Bank scene. Alexa Bliss is buried outside under the ladders. And you see Nikki walk up the ladder and just grab the briefcase with no hesitation. So I'm like, hopefully, I pray to God they give her a Otis Money in the Bank reign, how they did last year. It was just a funny gimmick. I did not expect her to win the title. And, she pitched this idea to Vince McMahon, so maybe that she was gonna win, and they had this plan for a while as her old gimmick, but she's like, I don't want to do it with this gimmick. Let me get this one. But maybe, or what I think happened is this new gimmick, Vince is like, it's such good shit, and he gives her the Raw Women's title. Why did Rhea Ripley drop it to Charlotte last night? No clue. Just keep it on Ripley and have this happen tonight. I don't know. Overall, Raw was about a 2 stars out of 10. They buried my boy Keith Lee. Buried my homie Karrion Kross. Stupid segments all across, and just a terrible show. I mean, we saw Goldberg come back. We saw Jeff Hardy's old theme come back. And we saw John Cena. But as the show started, it slowly died and died and died until Nikki, almost a superhero, won the Raw Women's Championship. Let me know what you guys think of the show. I think it was absolutely horrendous. They had an opportunity, the first show back in front of the fans, after a banger pay-per-view event, Money in the Bank last night, and they absolutely flop on it. So anyways, that is all I do have for you guys for this video. I hope you all did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.